my channel, and I will go over stuff that got me into filmmaking today. So, yes, I'm wearing the same shirt as the video previous because they're the same day. Let me stop playing with y'all guys. But I got into being a filmmaker because when I was 8 years old, I was sports. I actually have tat on my arm. Sorry, I had to burn too. But I played sports. Me and I had an older brother, 2 years older than me. I also have a little sister, but she's like about close to 7 years younger than me. But my brother and me was big time in the sports. He played football, and my parents would record his games, and sometimes the games they will forget to turn the camera. They're not paying attention to the little viewfinder because those viewfinders then used to be small. Some of them got a little bigger, probably about the size as this one right now. Maybe, maybe not. But at that time, it was the little ones, and sometimes they're too busy watching the game, and then like, oh, forgot to turn the camera. Well, what happened? You missed the play. So sometimes they would just stick me over there because when I would be at the games, I'd be bored. And back in the day, we didn't have these little neat little things here to distract us from stuff that we don't really care for. So I would be bored, or I used to go play with my friends. Like my little sister, when we go there, she'll go find her little friends to play with, and my parents would just watch her playing. Me, I'd probably go sit with my friends and talk if they came to some of the games. And fortunately, not every game I had friends that came, so wasn't always to play with. So we just happened to be in an away game, and my parents was like, "Can you record or whatever?" Or I think I actually asked to record because I got tired of them games looking like that. Because when I would watch my games, they would forget to turn the camera. I used to hate that. What, y'all miss me chopping style, chop a zaw, and pull up shot on number 3? Y'all missed my layup. Y'all missed my steal. Y'all got my steal but missed my layup. Y'all coaching from the bench. All kind of stuff. So with them, there'd be a lot of noise. Sometimes even when my brother would film for me, he'll be listening to music. So you'll just hear him rapping out of nowhere. So I really got into it because I wanted more professional look for us, So people will end up watching the games. Like my daddy and them will be showing the footage, and they would be like, "Oh my gosh, who filmed this?" I wasn't expecting people to be asking who was filming this. I think that'd be just like, paying attention to on the game. But they're like, "No, who filmed this? This is pretty professional." Like, I would zoom in if I had the battery life to do that, or if I had someone to plug the camera in, because those cameras used to really die quickly, and the batteries would, last any kind of way. And I would just, film the games. I wouldn't talk as much. I would just pay attention. I'd turn on everything. I would get everything on the football field. I may be sitting up high on the 50, so I may zoom in a little bit more to get the games. I would do as if you was probably watching the old time professional games back then, because they wasn't allowed. They didn't always have cameramen on the field back then. They used to just mostly be up high because, they just didn't have portable cameras like that. So, it really inspired me. And the crazy part is I didn't go in the video right away. Because there was no YouTube, there was no Instagram. None of that stuff was out. There was no social medias. We had MySpace come out a little bit later, but we wasn't putting videos on MySpace. Didn't think at first we was talking. We didn't have video footage like that. Our camera phones, flip phones that we did have by the time I got to my last year at high school, I think it was actually at the high school when I really got camera phones. I'm 32 years old. So you do the math on how long ago that was when I was in school. But you would think, though, that, since it was early 2000s and we're still in 2000s, if I had this technology the way it looks right now, the way technology is just constantly progressing. But I was not in the video first. I was in the video, though. Every time that it was time to film stuff for my brother, or even my little sister started doing a few little things younger than this, I would film it. I didn't mind filming it. I wanted to catch the game. I wanted to, really, I loved it. So my parents got me a film camera first. I actually have that camera. I think it's in the car though, because I think I had burned it for something. I actually still have that camera. So it's well over a decade now of owning this camera. That camera is probably 2 decades old now. I don't know how old that camera was. I mean, around that time we still had film cameras. That was predominantly the cameras. We really didn't have a lot of digital photo cameras. It was still mostly film. So I would shoot mostly black and white photography. That was like my thing. I used to always shoot it. I would shoot times in color. Um, I think in high school I took this one picture with it that was in color, and this is when I was in my little boy looking stage. I look more and more like real boyish, or I'm just more boyish looking when I'm small, and I'm a little bit more on the big side. I'm getting down. Talk about that one day too. But I had this pose. I had these braids, and I'm just in the car, and I just had this look. And this picture actually won me awards in freaking Rosenberg. That's where I went to school at last. I'm from A-Leaf though, Houston, Texas though. But yeah, I had this picture and they loved it. Then I had a couple other pictures I took or I edited in like on the little computer stuff they had then. I think they did have some type of Photoshop then. I don't know, but they had the old school computers, real old school. Yeah. So, because I was in photography class for a little bit / yearbook, but I had already missed yearbook by then by the time I got there. So, I mostly missed yearbook mostly though because I was a basketball star. I was a big time basketball star at the time, so it was kind of hard for me to do both when they're going to be taking pictures of me too. Yeah. But that's what started my career. Fast forward to probably like when I was 21, 22, YouTube is finally out and thriving. They're starting to have phones similar to this. The iPhone, of course, was out. We are rolling. People are putting content on YouTube constantly and starting to blow up. My friend, the time we used to always tell me all the time, like, why don't you do on YouTube? You know, you want to do videos, you want to do pictures and stuff. And they would try to record from our computers because we didn't have cameras like that. I still only had a photography camera. So we was recording from my computers. So very shockingly, the little video cameras we had on our computers back then was coming through clutch and getting posted on YouTube. Like I had friends that would be doing twerk videos. So they had this twerk song out there, Team Twerk song and all that going on. They was big on that. They were like, D, won't you just film anything? And I just couldn't get myself in it. Around this time, my grandma had passed. She passed when I was 18 years old. And I lost the passion for basketball. I lost the passion for film. I used to just work fast food jobs too. I'll go there. I worked, also worked at like a couple of grocery stores or CVS or something. I would just do that. I was going through so much emotionally of losing her at 18. I didn't want to lose her at 18 and I just couldn't get through my mind. And fast forward, it took me years to grieve her death. You know, like she died when I was 18. I'm 32. So it took me a while to understand that I have to let her go. Finally, I let her go, probably like around 2015, 2016. Kind of really still didn't. But I went ahead and decided to go to school for film. I actually heard the film Full Sail in my early 20s too. I was like 23 or 24. I think when I signed up, I was probably like 26 or 27. I think I was 26 or 25. I think I've heard of Full Sail when I was like 21. And they had just started doing online school too as well at that time, I believe. Or no, I don't think they had online school yet. I think you had to go to the campus. And I didn't want to move to Florida. It is crazy because I had randomly moved to places. Like I randomly moved to Alabama. I randomly moved to Michigan at like 25 when I actually started Full Sail. I should have just went to Florida, but I was confused because at that time they didn't have dorm rooms. They didn't even have money to supply you to go off campus at the time. It was a lot going on. Now they actually have way more stuff. And right now they really do have a lot more stuff in place. Well, you can get housing and live in apartments that are close by and stuff like that. So it's good that they do have that now. At that time, they didn't have those options for me, so they were just saying you would have to figure out how. And they wanted you to be still full-time students where you'll have 4 classes because you'll get done with your degree faster. But you also got to get a job and live. Going to a whole new city, it just didn't seem like my cup of tea. Online sounded better because you can do 1 class a month. Maybe sometimes you end up with 2. And I can still work and live. So that's what I went for. So that's what sparked my career. Once I got the FX5, I started making a video, and I'll probably put the footage in there, where I reached out to these Instagrammers that was real big Instagrammers at this time, and I hit them up and said, hey, would y'all be cool with me coming and helping y'all direct some of y'all videos? Also give you another high quality camera, stuff like that. And they was cool. They were actually cool people. So I actually became friends with some of them for a while. They started some of my career of just getting into like mini movies. So fast forward to that, my grandma passed in 2018. Was it? Yeah, 2018. When she passed, it hurt it. This was actually my grandmother on my mom's side, the one that died when I was 18 was on my father's side. But it hurt it because I never really got to know her as much. She lived farther away from me. And I had just seen her when I had came back down here from Michigan. Just seen her some months prior before she died. I kind of a year, probably more toward a year. I came down and visit her and everything. So I was really hurt again about the situation. I was really more hurt for my mother because she also lost her best friend a few years prior. I'm like, man, my mom lost her best friend. She lost her mom. I felt bad for my mother. And I know it was a lot on my mother. It still is a lot on my mother. So I just wanted to not do film school. So I started film school for like a year or two. Yeah, 2020 I came back to do, I tried to come back and finish my degree and they told me I didn't have enough financial aid. So they stuck me in a certificate for the time being, and that's how I got my A6400. And as soon as I got in that class, in 2020, Corona started. Corona was getting really big. Corona hit me a week before my birthday. I started probably like a few weeks before that prior, and Corona came like, not I can say a week before my birthday, the week of my birthday. So like in the Corona. So also on top of that, Kobe Bryant died. Like it was so much going on. Life was hard. I was a big Kobe Bryant fan. I probably would have him tatted on me because I really loved Kobe Bryant. Like he was one of my favorite basketball players for real. So I was really hurting. It was really more hurting to hear that his daughter passed too. So I was sick. COVID was hitting me. I was also down because he passed. I would just watch like stuff for him all the time for a while. And I found myself falling asleep randomly a lot because of COVID. And I got really sick. Like I sounded like a grown man was in his chest. Like I got super sick. I was sick for like more than a month, like maybe 2 months. And I could never just have a full day where I was just not 100%. I had a little post-COVID for a while, but I had all the symptoms. My fiance got sick like a week and a half after me. She didn't have none of the symptoms, really. All she lost was her taste and smell, really, that's it. But she ended up still having long post-COVID, way longer than me. For me, it was just probably like 2-3 months, and then finally I was back to normal. But I couldn't even function for school. Like anytime I would try to just be at life, I would randomly fall asleep. I didn't even finish my job at the time. It was a lot. After I finally got back on my feet from that crazy disease, COVID got out of my system like 2 months or 3 months later, I started becoming a full-time filmmaker with my FS5. I shot my first music video. I'll throw that mug up there. I don't know if I'm going to put it right here, but it'll probably just come across the screen. But I shot my first music video from my neighbor across the hall. He kept talking about how my camera was, and and that's when I had the FS5. It's still the same body style technically as the FX6. And a lot of people, when they see their camera, they think you real official when they see those cameras. So the video came out pretty dope. I had the MacBook Pro at that time, so the rendering process was extremely slow. Like to bring those effects in, those plugins, it was too heavy for that computer. It took me a lot longer than I expected, but I got it done. Videos up. You can kind of see the creation that came out of it that I did not like as much. Other than that, the video's out. The video's out and it's here and it's gone. But I've shot multiple videos since then. So 2020 is pretty much when I really full-fledged started D Director Productions LLC, and D Director Productions has been going full steady ever since. And here we are in 2023, 3 years later, and I'm still producing quality videos. I'm still putting out stuff. I'm still putting out work. I'm putting out YouTube videos. I'm still putting out content, everything. So I just wanted to go ahead and give people my intake as a female filmmaker. I ain't gonna lie, being a female filmmaker can be challenging at times, mostly because most do filmmakers I know is get more love than most female filmmakers. Like, no disrespect, but I do see that a lot, you know. But and one thing about being a filmmaker, as a filmmaker, life has always been different. Oh, sorry. I have noticed that, and then I noticed it's really harder for me to get like guys to work with me, like to be other filmmakers with me, and we do stuff and build stuff. I noticed that they will go work with somebody else before they come work with me, which is really crazy. You know, like, what is it? Is it? Come on now. Well, I find myself mostly being a one-woman team. I hate it. I really do try to put myself out there and try to even hit up other videographers. I message them, and sometimes they just, even photographers. And I messaged a photographer one time that I met on the way out one time, and he like turned my idea I gave him into his own, which was crazy. But hey, it is what it is, you know. Everybody do what they do. They get their own karma too. But as a filmmaker, I'm making this right now. And all I'm going to say is, I know my worth. I know my place in life. I know where I'm going to be. To everybody that turned me down and didn't want to work with me, that's all on them. They're going to regret it one day. They're going to wish that they said yes to me. They would have wished that they worked with me and we started making money together and becoming a team. They're going to wish that they took me more seriously because they didn't. They're going to really wish. Because I noticed that I've seen other people work with other people. Like, I know this other guy, like, he wasn't barely making any money in this. He got with this other guy that he wasn't really making no money neither. They both started working together and started being more of a powerhouse. And now they're doing really good and they're making great videos. And before the other guy got with the other guy, his lighting was always trash. And that's why I know, like, when it comes to being a filmmaker, it's harder to be a one-man team. Sometimes it's not. Some people can do a lot of stuff one-manish, but it's still better to have other people to help you with lighting or to help you with paying attention to what your client is doing or something. Or, you know, it's maybe multiple people in the scene and you're trying to look at the camera and look at all those people and make sure they're doing what they're supposed to be doing and focus on the main person. If you're shooting a music video, it could be kind of annoying, but it's good to have like assistant director to help you too, you know. And I noticed that, like, even when I was shooting a little movie, like a little clip from a movie that I'm going to be making very soon, with one of the guys that I know, and the film was actually pretty dope with both of us collabing. It was me, him, and then I had another girl there too that she comes out with me a lot to shoot for my show, and she's very sweetheart. And sometimes just having her there and watching the camera, and I'm not bouncing between two cameras like every 5 seconds to make sure stuff is good, or buying a transmitter to see both. Or, you know, I could do that too. I will do that. You know, once more funds coming in, I'm just spreading myself around a lot. I run a reality show. I'm one of the part owners of the reality show, so I have to have funding for that show. I have to have funding for my own camera career. It's a lot going on around for me to spread out. And even filming this TV show, I still can't find people that will just come. Because right now, this TV show, I can't fund people right now for it because I ended up having to take over as mostly one of the main owners with another owner. And right now, you're just going to have to wait till once the show get posted and the views start coming and the money comes in from YouTube, and then you get paid. It's kind of hard to find people that are willing to be like, yeah, I'll come do that with you. I'll come work with you and do that. Yeah, for real. For real, I'll come be a part of your team, and I don't mind getting paid by the time that money coming in. I had a guy that where I was like, oh yeah, they're pay about this much money at first when we first started, because we was getting paid from some people at first. He ended up ghosting me randomly afterwards, which is cool. He lived in another state technically, so I'm not gonna be totally against the situation, but I really do wish he would have just said something, because he didn't tell me nothing. He just goes. But I still ended up reaching out to him and talking to him and being cool with him and stuff like that, because I'm not against my filmmakers. I love my filmmakers. Every last one of y'all. We're all out here doing something. It's enough customers out here to spread us all around. Everybody has their own style. Everybody does their own thing. Now, I do say sometimes you do see a lot of people copying off a lot of people's styles. And I hate that sometimes I have to do that for a client, because that's what they want. They want you to copy off of all these crazy effects that takes away from the clearness of the video or the art of the video. They just want you to be doing all this other extra stuff. Sound effects is one thing. Sound effects is great. But some of the other stuff I just be annoyed with. But I do it because the client may want it. But most of the time, I like just regular scenes. I just haven't came across a lot of that neither. Most of the time, these people still want stupid effects and stuff in there. But sometimes it's great location, great budget, everything, And, very soon, by the end of this year, beginning of next year as well, I'm going to be really popping. And some of these people going to wish they jumped on the bandwagon and worked with me. And I'm not going to be bitter. I'm still not going to be mean. I'm going to still show them gratitude, and I'm going to still, see what I could do to help them. I'm not going to ignore them like they did me or play them like they did me. Because at the end of the day, I'm not that type of person. And karma still comes back and around. So I will still, but I'm going to just be moving lightly around them, because you didn't want to stay down when I had nothing. You want to wait till I get on my come up. That's cool. That's cool. But be on the lookout. I got a lot of stuff coming as a filmmaker. I'm back inspired. I'm back going. I got scripts I'm writing. I got movies. I dream of these movies sometimes when I'm sleeping, and I wake up and I got a whole movie to write. So be on the lookout for more of my work, more of my stuff that I do. Also be on the lookout for videos weekly. I will post 2 to 3 a week. Depends. Maybe those I'll be is 1 a week depending on my workload. But it will be either a review or me just chopping it up, vlogging, whatever. I may start trying to do vlogging while I'm out shooting on these sets and stuff. I do. They just get to wear got something to shoot for the show on Saturday. I think twice. So I'm gonna probably vlog that day with my A6400. Hopefully it don't fail me like it did today. But I'm gonna vlog with that and have this camera going in full motion and vlog with that one for the show. Normally, sometimes for the show though, I do have both going. So I will try to bring a separate memory card for vlogging and a separate memory card for the show, because the show has 2 main memory cards that's already for them. And I'm about to buy another one. Because that's just me. I gotta be ready. You feel me? But thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for listening to my story. I will put down in the below. I will put down below again all my gear, everything I use to film this video. As always, click on them links and buy. Buy, especially the light. Somebody did buy the light. Thank you. Buy. Hurry up and buy. Buy that stuff. If you have the FX6 and you full self filmmakers, or you just have FX6 period, buy stuff that you need to build that mug out. There's multiple ways to rig that camera, so have fun. There's multiple ways to rig the A6400. The A6400 to me though is more of a picture camera. It does not hold up in video long, so you can do what you can. But thank you for watching my story and listening.
Oh, D Director Productions.